Now, let's talk about the Biden White House and their, well, losing complete control of the southern border. The latest numbers just illustrate that perfectly. US Customs and Border Protection reports there were almost 270,000 migrant encounters at the southern border in September, making it the highest single month ever recorded. They're the ones that were encountered. There are plenty more who are not encountered crossing that border, but 270,000 encounters in a month is astonishing in itself. And their annual reports also are setting records. 2023 fiscal year, there were 2.47 million encounters. That's the highest ever recorded in a single year. In fact, the Biden administration has now set the all-time record for migrant encounters at the southern border. These are illegal entries for the last 3 years in a row. So 2021, there were 1.7 million, 2022, close to 2.4 million. And this year, this financial year, we've seen 2.5 million, close to 2.5 million. Josh, these numbers are out of control. And we're talking about the entire population of somewhere like Pittsburgh crossing illegally every single month. What has been the response to this data?
Well, it's absolutely out of control. I mean, you are totally correct, of course, to phrase it that way. By the way, going back to that final tweet of the Fox reporter Bill Malugin that we just showed the audience here, you saw the marked contrast from that to the final year of Trump's presidency, which was about 500,000. I mean, talk about night and day here.
Yes.
But, you know, we're also talking about a time of an emboldened global jihad right now. We're talking about a time when jihadists, frankly, are marching openly in the streets in the United States of Chicago, Washington, D.C. They're marching openly in the streets of Europe, whether it's London, Brussels, Paris, you name it. They're right there, of course, in Australia. I saw that appalling footage of the folks going to the Sydney Opera House chanting to gas the Jews. So we're dealing with a time where I think radical Muslims all across the world are, frankly, more emboldened than they have been since ISIS had its so-called caliphate itself in Iraq and Syria. And that I say all that because that contextualizes just how important it is now, of all times, for the United States to control its extraordinarily porous southern border. In fact, I saw a number, I think it was a day or two ago. I think the number of people who were caught at that border who were on the U.S. terror watch list last year was about 160 or so. And if that's the number that they caught,
wow,
who knows how many let in? I mean, if they caught 160 to 165, maybe there are 100, maybe there are even thousands inside the United States interior right now. Who knows? There could be Hamas, Hezbollah, you know, Iranian spy rings. Those people could be right embedded in our very communities. I mean, who knows what they're planning here if they were able to successfully plan what they did in Gaza two and a half weeks ago or so. So the situation from a security perspective is just absolutely atrocious. Unfortunately, I don't see a ton of signs of this administration starting to get it together. Yes, there was some chatter a couple weeks ago about Joe Biden and Secretary Mayorkas, his ham-fisted Secretary of Homeland Security. There was some chatter about them finally starting to build some segments of a border wall. Thus far, I have not seen a whole lot of proof of that. They issued some sort of statement, but I have really not seen a heck of a lot of follow-through. Look, Rita, ultimately, when it gets to the issue of illegal immigration, it is such a straightforward issue, which is one of the reasons why I find this so immensely frustrating. People respond to incentives. If you say that you are going to immediately turn back, if you are going to immediately send back to the country of origin someone who is trying to come across your border illegally, or who's going to claim a bogus asylum claim, who is trying to cross because they are there for economic reasons, which is contrary to United States immigration law, that's not a legitimate asylum claim. If you say that you're going to enforce all that, then the cartels aren't going to take people because they know that they're not going to profit. It's not going to work. All you have to do is say that you are going to enforce the law as written. Donald Trump, to his credit, did that successfully. He could have gone a little further, in my opinion. The border wall, of course, was not successfully built in its entirety, but it was a much better start. Joe Biden right now, they are totally lawless. The door is wide open, and God help us, because like I said,
yes,
we do not know the mid to long-term security repercussions of this.